Okay guys, we are starting chapter 2 today with notes. A couple things I want to go over as I get situated here. You have so far finished chapter 1. You did homework with chapter 1. You did some review with chapter 1. You took a test on chapter 1. If you have not done these things, please go and look at your classwork tabs and make sure that you are knocking these things out, because with grades counting, I will start putting zeros in soon. And when those zeros come in, they're going to definitely drop your grade. So if you know you're missing an assignment, and if you know you need to get that done, again, don't just assume I'm going to give you a 0. At this point, I'm just wanting material turned into me. Okay, I want you guys to do the best you can, get into a groove. I know some of you are still having issues with Chromebooks. If you are having an issue with the Chromebook, you should still have a book for this class. And if you don't have one, we'll find a way to get one for you. But we do have to keep pushing forward. We are 2.5 weeks in, and I've been speaking, through Google Chat with a lot of you. If you have questions, please reach out, okay? But it's important to do the work and do the best you can. Today we're just going to do some quick notes on section 1 for chapter 2. The notes that I sent you, along with the PowerPoint, are covering sections 1 and 2. I haven't decided yet whether we'll deal with 3 and 4. But we are for sure going to talk about these things because they roll right into stuff about being a citizen and what we're trying to do, okay? So let's check it out. You have these notes in front of you, and again, I filled them out. There will be a couple of opportunities for you to maybe think about or perhaps write down a couple of things, and I encourage you to do that. I don't encourage you to just kind of listen to me in the background. I'm hoping you're kind of following along, and this material will also help you answer questions that you're trying to do for your homework assignment that you were given yesterday, okay? So let's check this out. Let's look at groups and institutions. So this is some important stuff, okay? At your age, for many of you, myself included, belonging to something is important. And there are several different types of groups that you can belong to. But why do we do that, right? Why do we jump in on groups? Well, clearly we want to socialize, okay? You join a group because you want to socialize, and they have similar beliefs and ideas that you might have, right? And that's one reason that you jump in on it. We're not just talking about groups that provide food for you and that provide shelter. We're talking about basic groups for you as high school students, right? Things that you deem important, that you want to be a part of, okay? So let's look at 3 groups that you might have. So on that box, one of the most obvious for many of you, a very important group you belong to is your church, okay? If you follow, if you have a religious belief, the church is a great opportunity for you to join with people who have those similar beliefs. For many of you, myself included, I was a sports team, still am a sports team type of guy, that I relate to people who follow the same sports perhaps that I do, or even follow the same teams that I'm interested in, or a player that I might like. And then of course we have groups of friends, right? You are going to associate with people that you get along with, that have similar beliefs as you, that are, that have the same intentions that you might have, okay? Let's move on here. Rules for socialization, though, they are based on values. So this just goes back, what do you value? So each of you needs to think about what's important to you, and then take a look at the groups you associate with. And I guarantee you, those groups will have similar things that you deem important to yourself, okay? That's what we have here. Rules for socialization are based on values. So what is the main function, though? It's clearly to satisfy your needs, all right? Physically, socially, emotionally, and spiritually. So spiritually, we get in with the church groups, right? Physical, it could be those sports teams. It could be belonging to a club of some sort. At my old age now, I can't really run and gun and play sports anymore. I can't run up and down the field and play soccer like I used to, or perhaps play basketball. But now I join groups that involve fitness. Groups that I can relate to with fitness, that have the same values, that keep me in shape. And then emotionally, you have support groups that you can lean on, and those are your friends. Those are your family that you lean on to help you in those tough times, but also to celebrate the good times as well, right? What are some other functions of these groups? Companionship, a sense of belonging, and socialization. I just want you to think about groups that are important to you. And I want you to identify similarities between those groups. And like I said before, you're gonna find them. You're gonna see that those similarities, they bring about companionship. Friendships bring about companionship. Sports teams, belonging to a sporting event, sport team, excuse me. You love to belong. I ain't gonna lie, I was a bench warmer in basketball. I rarely saw the court, but I was a part of that team. You know, and I tell this funny story about, you know, belonging to that team and you know, loving that team. And my mom, God love my mom, but she'd always be like, you know, Jeremy, they wouldn't be as good as they were if you weren't practicing against them. And she meant well. She was trying to perk me up, right? She was trying to make me say that being a bench warmer was okay. But that sense of belonging for me and being a part of that team was really all that I needed at that point. Of course I wanted to play, but I also knew that those were friends that I was gonna form bonds with the rest of my life, and I still have from high school, okay? And the social aspect is huge. Socialization is very important. I miss that aspect of our group because of what we're having to do right now, but it's key, isn't it? So let's look at the 5 simple groups. You need to understand these. The 5 main institutions are economy, family, education, religion, and government. These are 5 main. There are tons of subgroups that can go into this, but when you look at the 5 main groups brought about by your homework assignments as well, this is what we're looking at. So then the question comes up possibly, what do you deem to be the most basic and what's the most important? For all of us, a very basic institution is our family, okay? Many of you have a relative, a parent, a sibling, siblings, parents that you rely upon. They are a foundation of who you are, right? In terms of being the most important, some people might even say that family is. In terms of also being important though, our government is key. Setting rules, setting expectations for our society, and it becomes a big thing. But I think we could argue this. This is why I wish we were all here to talk about it. But this is what we're kind of looking at. I want you to look at this. In 2008, it cost $190,528 to raise a child. I wrote on your notes there. We upped it to 2014. Look at 2020. $284,510 to raise one kid, right? So that doesn't even include college, which college can range anywhere depending upon what you want to do. If you go to a 4-year university, you're probably going to be over another $100,000 to go to that university. That's why many kids choose the community college route or a trade school, which is a great idea if that's what you're looking to do. But with all of this money, you flip to the back of the second page of your notes. This is the last part of section 1. This has changed the family, okay? Back in the day, you watch these older movies, you know, the husband supported the family and the wife stayed home. That's not the case anymore. Trust me, millions and millions of strong women out there who can do what is expected of them to support the family and the husbands as well. There's no specific individual. It's a joint effort for many of us in order to make it, right? But all of this also comes into play with a need for more education, which is my plug to all of you. Do that work. Do my work. Do your science work. All of this is going to help you down the line when you look to get a job. I promise you. What you are doing now will pay off in the future. You might not think it right now. You might be struggling with some stuff. But when you look at the costs of these things and the effort put forth by people who love you to provide for you, you're going to want to do the same. And it starts with your education, okay? We'll hit back on these things again in the next lecture. Keep doing your work. Do the best you can. I hope that test wasn't overwhelming. I don't think it was, but there's bonus opportunities already for you to get points added to your test. Please take advantage of those, and we'll talk soon. Have a good one. Bye.